I'll never know why sunbeams are warm. I can't explain the rainbow in the storm. It's you I adore. That's all I It's you I adore. That's all I I'll never know why sunbeams are warm. I can't explain the rainbow in the sun.
Oh man, oh that's bright. How's that look? That looks better. Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm at Pruitt. Hope y'all are doing all right. I'm unbelievable as always. Might be a little bit delirious, sleep deprived, or something other like that. But it is late Monday night, October 15th, after day one of the Adobe Max conference. Today was the keynote. I got an article up on techrepublic.com. Thank you to Tech Republic for sending me out here. But I have an article up about the keynote and all of the highlights and whatnot, and updates and software that's coming from Adobe and all that good stuff. So head on over to techrepublic.com and check that out. But I just want to do a quick video, give a little bit of a rundown on how it's been and what can we expect as content creators. Far as this medium here, the YouTube medium, Adobe Premiere Rush is probably the biggest news coming out, because this is a platform that's built more so for YouTubers, if you will, that are just trying to be able to create videos on the go. Whether you have your smartphone, DSLR, whatever, just it's another way of creating content and editing it on the go without having to have all of the bells and whistles and extra horsepower required to run something like Premiere Pro. So this is like a stripped down version of Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Audition all in one app. I think it's a great idea. Does it have some things that need to be worked on? Yep. But this is the first version of it, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's still pretty solid for what it can provide. I sat in a session today with Premiere Gal. She did a session this evening. I sat in and checked her out and talked to her afterwards and whatnot, and shared my thoughts about Premiere Rush with her. She's been working with Adobe, so she's going to reach out to them and let them know some of the concerns that myself and other people that have been able to get their hands on the beta version, and see if we can get those little minor issues worked out and fixed. Next up on the slate, I just spend a lot of time walking around and trying to get my appointments done and get coverage and whatnot so I can continue to write and get stuff published. But the next big thing that I had of note today was the CANON EOS-R Mirrorless camera. A lot of people have asked me my thoughts on that, because in the past I have not been a fan of mirrorless cameras, because mirrorless cameras, number one, are a lot smaller than the DSLR cameras that you see today and the DSLRs that I use in particular in my workflow. I just don't like the smaller cameras. Even, stuff like this Canon Rebel that I use, it's small, but it's bigger than a mirrorless camera on a lot of aspects. I just wasn't a fan. I like a bigger form factor because I have really big hands. But anyway, get into this new Canon mirrorless. Whoa, I liked it. It felt good in the hands. And for me as a photographer, my advice to aspiring photographers and videographers or whatever is don't necessarily try to buy into the brand as a fad. You know, you have people that love Canon, you have people that love Sony, you have people that love Fuji and Nikon or what have you, and that's all they think about. Some are better than others in different aspects, okay? That's the reality of technology. But at the end of the day, you need to go with what's going to work best for you, what's going to feel right in your hands when you're using it. And for me, DSLRs, as big and bulky and old-fashioned as they are, they feel good for me. That's why I never really considered the mirrorless cameras. But this Canon EOS-R Mirrorless, I would definitely consider it now. It's large enough and feels good, and then if you pack on an extra battery on the bottom, it feels and looks like a regular DSLR. Real talk. This thing shoots really fast. It shoots about 7 frames per second if you want to do some high-speed shooting. The electronic viewfinder makes it a lot easier for beginner photographers to be able to properly expose their images before they hit the shutter. You know, with electronic viewfinders, basically when you look through them, what you see is what you get, unlike a regular DSLR that has a mirror in it. Whenever I'm shooting and I'm looking through my viewfinder in my DSLR, I'm looking at the settings that are showing up in the DSLR to make sure my exposure and shutter speed and all of that is working out to what I am wanting it to work out to. Most of the time that works for me, but a lot of people that doesn't work for them because you're looking through it and what you see as an image is not necessarily what's going to come out on your actual SD card. And so I just got used to looking at the actual numbers and settings and just be concerned with the framing and just expect that my shot is going to be exposed this way or that way. I tend to shoot a lot of my shots underexposed because I think I can recover them a lot better since I shoot camera raw anyway. But anyway, back to the mirrorless. I think it's a nice camera. It felt good. It's got a pretty nice specs, but I have one little nitpick with it, and that goes along with the feel. The knobs on the top of it are a little tiny, in my opinion, because I'm used to larger knobs, and they have this little touch bar interface on the back of it. It's not all of that intuitive. It's a little sensitive, but there's a way to try to turn that thing off so it's not getting touched randomly or anything like that. That's just small nitpicks in the overall picture. It could be better and have better functionality as far as the way the knobs are positioned on top of the camera, as far as switching to different shooting modes and things like that. But that's with any camera. So I give them some credit on that. Unfortunately, when you go to get glass or lenses for this thing, you'll need an adapter if you have your old lenses to go with it. It may not be okay. I think the base price for the body is about $2,200, which is not bad. That's considering the quality, that's not bad for a body. I would consider that. But I don't know. I think I'm going to still end up being a DSLR guy, but if I wanted to go to mirrorless and it's still under the Canon brand, this just might work for me. Just might work for me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little handful of pictures and video B-roll of me with this EOS-R camera, and I hope you enjoyed my little quick brief rundown about Adobe Max Day 1 keynote and all of that good stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I try to answer all of my questions as soon as I can in the comments. Thank you all for the continued support. Thank you to all of my Patreons, and thank you to Tech Republic for sponsoring this trip to get to Adobe Max. Thank you all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.